Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the AI Impact Podcast. My name is Brandon. I'm your friendly neighborhood fractional chief artificial intelligence officer. I develop AI and other SaaS for a living, as well as do AI consulting. I have on my podcast an amazing guest right now. He works with and owns, I believe, iTitans. They're a software development agency in the UK, and they do a lot of work around the world. His name's Babar Arshad. Happy to have you here, man. How's it going?
Lovely, lovely. Nice to meet you, Brandon.
So amazing, man. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Love to have you on here. Let's jump right into it, man. Tell me all about your business. Tell me stuff that you're working on. I'd love to hear what you're doing.
Lovely. So I am the founder of iTitans. We are a tech services company, and we go by the motto, "You do the business, we do the tech," which means that I really want to take the technology problems from business owners off their plate and execute it in a way that they grow and we grow. So our strategy is very simple. We target small to mid-scale businesses, people who are really starting off or who are at that Series A, B, C level of funding, and we grow as they grow. We charge them according to their level of investment and funding. And then if I believe the idea is good, if I believe the founder is good, and they can grow, I sort of have a long-term deal with them where our growth depends on their growth. So it's more like a partnership and not only a client vendor relationship. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. I personally identify as somebody who loves to build. So I've built stuff for myself, and now I'm trying to help people do the same.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, and pretty dang impressive too. I'd love to hear, and I'm sure the audience would too. What kind of projects have you worked on, or are you not at liberty to say?
Mostly, I can't say names sometimes, but mostly, I can. So I started officially in COVID.
Okay.
Luckily or unluckily. I think luckily for the business, unluckily for me because I was always in front of a laptop. But our industry of choice, was health tech, of course, when we started with COVID. But then, since then we've been just navigating around in different industries just by chance. So we started with the choice, then it's on chance. I worked on fintech projects, martech projects, e-commerce projects, logistical supply chain, like warehouse management type solutions. Some fun stuff like dating apps and avatar apps and dog breeding apps and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's been a wide range of industries. And as I say, I want to work more with people, and that match is very important. That mindset match. I don't really care what industry you belong to.
Wow. Wow. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's a wide range of stuff too. So do you have a specific type of client that you like working with, a specific industry, or is it just like in general you love SaaS, you'll work on anything?
So I generally work with people who are hungry, like myself. I love working with people again who are mostly starting off, because when you're starting off, you're really hungry and you want to make an impact. That is where, as a builder, it's always easy to build from scratch. If you take somebody else's building, even a construction site, it's
Yeah.
tough to work on it, right? So similarly for tech, if you have to build on somebody else's code and somebody else's technology, it's sometimes tough, but sometimes people do come up at that mid level and the project is incomplete, the agency backed out, they couldn't complete it, financial problems, whatnot. So I would say I have a good mix of people who are starting off, and then people who are at that mid level and really stuck with the bad experiences with other agencies.
Gotcha, gotcha. I'm curious, man, because I do a little bit of development myself, and I do a lot of no code stuff. Do you find yourself as the market is evolving that you're using more like no code type of tools, or are you guys still doing the whole full stack thing front and back?
So we're using no-code strategies. We do more comprehensive tech work, customized solutions, and sometimes the no-code technology right now doesn't allow you to really do that end-to-end. So yes, we do use some no-code, low-code strategies. There's a lot of libraries, a lot of things out there they can use in the most efficient way. The goal is simple, shorten the time, shorten the effort involved, shorten the budget involved, and deliver what is needed as a minimum for a business. So we always go, agile, which is minimum, first hanging fruit first. So we do use some processes, but it's the no code, world is still not developed enough to execute comprehensive technologies end to end. I hope it does. It makes, a lot of our job easier then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you using? Have you had a chance, since we're on that subject? Have you had a chance to check out some of the AI no code technologies out there? I know I played around with Bubble IO's AI, and man, I was like, it was like holy crap! Like immediately, I had like two or three or four different pages that were already done, built out front to back. Of course, the actual function of what I needed the SaaS to do wasn't built out yet, but it was like super easy. I already had my login page. I already had my forgot password. I already had all this stuff already built out just from a simple prompt.
Yeah, yeah. Similarly, I used Bubble.io probably when they really started, like a few years ago, before the whole AI boom came, and they were doing very impressive work, honestly. It really gives you a kickstart. So, a lot of other tools like this, which we've tried, they give us kickstart. But as I said, as a core development agency, sometimes that kickstart is not really beneficial because you want to build on your own technology and code sometimes. As a front end user, as a business owner, yes, it might give you an edge to really, quickly build up prototypes and start stuff. But as a customized tech agency, sometimes you have to be careful with what you choose.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, I bet, man. I bet. Walk me through kind of like what does a day in the life look like for your business? What do you? I mean, I guess the day to day operations, the softwares you're using, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question because again, it's an ever-changing world, especially in the startup field that we are in. Every day we have new fires to extinguish and new opportunities, and it's a roller coaster as a lot of other businesses were at our scale. But I think the overall how I classify my business is, of course, like any business, demand and supply. So the demand creation is something that is ever evolving. We have to always keep on looking for more and more tools, opportunities, more methods to grow the business and also to cater to the demand that we are bringing in. The supply side is pretty mature. Of course, we make improvements. We bring in new people and new types of things that we're using to sort of fulfill that demand. But I would say that the demand side is where we try out more and more things, and the supply side is where we go a little more mature and we have our strategies set. On the demand side, I'll start off with we use pretty popular tools to sort of get some leads in, and then we have a good marketing strategy which includes a bulk of email marketing. We do Seamless .ai for extracting good leads. It extracts through LinkedIn, as most of us might know, and it's a pretty efficient tool. Found some others, but this one has been my go-to mostly, along with Apollo.io, and these two tools sort of help us generate, bring in right kind of leads, and then we target them using Smartly.ai, which I've shifted to from a couple of other solutions, which I don't want to mention because they were not good enough. But Smartly.ai helps us warm up those email marketing campaigns and sort of deliver them in the right way, along with giving us very good workflows to sort of automated workflows to deliver those multiple emails that you want to deliver to decision makers. And then from there, after getting the right kind of client locked in, it's a more manual process, something which I want to automate at some point. I still don't know how. Is that middle gap where somebody's interested. Now what? Now it's scheduling some time, their calendar, our calendar, my team's calendar, getting together, having that one, two, three, whatever number of discovery calls, assigning them a team, finalizing project details, sending a proposal. Right now, there's bunch of technology that we use to do all of this, small, small, small things, but there's no one real connection between the demand and supply. So, hey, somebody likes us, to hey, let's start their work. There's something in the middle. That process of locking a client and starting working with them is where we have some manual effort involved, and I want to see what we can do to automate that. And then on the supply side, honestly, it's more tech tools. We are very fond of Teams. I used to do Slack. I don't like Slack anymore. Just different interface. Some people love Slack. I don't. We use Teams and we use Jira mostly, and they collaborate and talk to each other. Jira also offers Confluence for project management and sort of documentation and stuff. And then our non-technical teams, they also use Asana. Asana also talks to teams. So the supply side is pretty sorted. Again, I'm always open to look for more interesting tools to work on. I think one problem on the supply side, if I talk, is that regular cadence between the customer and the team, and how does that play out in terms of action items, and I can focus more on this. I can talk more about this later if needed, but how to take out more action items. What happens with tech, Brandon, is that there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk when you're trying to define a requirement, when you're trying to gather a requirement, when you're trying to understand the client. The client has so many cool ideas in his head, and he's like blah 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 blah. All of that, we lose out what to do next. What's the immediate next action item? And there's things to do that, but somehow not in a very cool way. And I know there's a lot of cool technologies coming out there. So yeah, I think this is my the system and softwares that we follow as of now in our agency.
Wow. Wow. You just dropped so many like knowledge bombs about just about that industry, man. I can only imagine like how many people have thought about building a SaaS and like all the stuff that goes into it. And you just kind of explained some of the pain points that you as a as a SaaS creator, as a developer, go through when working with your clients. And I think that's there, man, there's a lot of value there. And thinking about stuff from my point of view, right? Because I do AI development, I do AI strategy, automations, and stuff like that. All of that gave me a whole bunch of ideas, right? But I think I got a couple more questions before I go into some of those ideas, right? I want to make sure that our listeners get like a full picture of everything. You talked about the email marketing stuff that you do, and the build the getting the leads in and nurturing those leads and eventually turning them into clients. That alone is an amazing thing to already have mastered and doing that in house. Um, is that something that you guys do for your clients after you build the softwares for them to help them like grow and explode that software?
Yes, yes, very well. So again, I believe in, as I said, I classify as a builder. I love building for myself and for people who work with me. Given that we have worked on somebody's technology, I think we are the best ones to try to help them sell it too, which includes, a lot of email marketing and digital marketing. So about one fourth of my team, about 25 odd people, they are focused on that digital marketing aspect, which is basically, we don't really promote it outside as such. If somebody comes to us, we tell them yes, we do it, but typically it's a service that our clients use after they've built out a solution and now they want to market it, and we can again explain it in the best possible words, in the best possible strategies. So I started this site about 2 years ago, where we started helping people that we've built stuff for to market it. We do it very simply, in a very minimalistic sort of a way. The client creates all the accounts and all the the legalities, and we just help them execute.
Wow. Wow. See, it's good when I kind of get fired up a little bit because I'm building a SaaS right now. I think you saw on social media, I'm building a little micro SaaS for um, creating a faceless YouTube video channel, right? And it's all AI generated. You basically just hook your account up to it, and then you select which package you want, and then every day or 3 times a week or twice a day, depending on what package you get, those YouTube shorts get uploaded, and it's all hands off, right? So that to
Yeah.
me is what I would consider a micro SaaS. And hearing about like what you can do to grow your clients' SaaSes, like that makes me want to work with you. Like it's not often I have somebody that I talk to where I'm like, I got to work with that guy because he's doing something I can't do. So we're gonna have to talk a little bit offline about
Yeah, man, I
that.
think the idea for the faceless class is really cool. I tried to do it in a manual way like a couple of years ago. I really had a bad experience. So, I'm very excited to see, when you build that and hopefully use it for my content. I create some content. It's always a struggle, right, to create good content. And not always you want to have your face out there and recording professionally and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for what you bring to the table, man.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I love it. I love it. Now, I'm trying to remember. I think I had like one more question for you. Maybe it'll come back to me. But
Hmm.
just from talking to you, I think that when it comes to AI and automation, well, first let me ask you: are you using any AI and automations already in your business? And if so, what are you using?
Yeah, no real AI is being used. I think we're using some softwares which have which have some automations, and they're doing it well. For example, Smart Lead is doing good email automation and good workflows on email side. I think as a business owner, this is where AI is lacking, and in my industry at least. AI, either the AI can go deep or it can go wide. I mean, either you can have AI which is doing really good email marketing, or you can have AI that is connecting the email marketing part to the, I don't know, the call scheduling part and the next steps. So I think we have good deep AI, but I don't think we have good wide AI right now. And that's just might be my opinion and my lack of research or something. But as a business owner, I want less headache, right? So I want things to be taken off my plate. And unless AI is doing that, going deep always doesn't really help. I want AI to connect some two segments, three steps, four steps that I don't have to worry about later on. So yeah, I'm not using a lot of, I would say, good AI tools.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Whenever I'm working with somebody, and this is just a cool little nugget for you to have in the back of your head too, is I think about two things. I think about what is making the most money for you right now. What actions are you performing that are generating the most revenue for you right now? Um, and then my follow up question to that is, what are you doing, or what operations in your business are taking the most time? Right, and then I kind of try to figure out, where can I implement AI and automation to increase the thing that's more revenue for you, and decrease the thing that's taking the most of your time. So like, thinking about that, is there anything else, because I got a pretty good idea of what I'm thinking for you when it comes to an AI and automation strategy, but I want you to share with me any other information you think I should have before we go into that.
Yeah, yeah. I think very good 2 points. And as I think about it, for the past 1.5 year or so, I've been doing a lot of content creation, right? So creating good, consistent content along with reaching to the right people on social media, for the matter of fact, because there's my company branding and there's my own branding, and they go, as a small business founder, a lot of us, they go hand in hand. In fact, we have to put ourselves more out there to grow our business, like a lot of small business owners, especially in the services industry. So I think that's one thing that I always struggle with, and automating that will be helpful. That's the thing that brings in me the most value. When I talk to people, most of them have an idea about who I am because they've seen some form of my content. That really helps. That really helps me, get right to the point, and I don't have to sort of sell to them. They're already half convinced if they've seen good content from me. So a combination of content and outreach, I think, is something very valuable to me. On the other side, as I said, a act, business to do action items in the tech world sometimes get lost. So if we can have something that really focus on, with all the noise going around, they help us focus on to do action items. I don't know, a bot in calls that can help us, or a bot in a WhatsApp group or a Teams group that can help us just pin and point out and send an email for the right action items. That's very useful. That's what my project manager has a really hard time, and he has to spend a lot of time doing that. And for a lot of other project managers, so yeah, I think these are two top items for me right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love it, man. I love it. That's great. Um, when you were talking about some of the things that, I guess, your pain point when it comes to dealing with clients and customers, and you're talking about having to go back and forth with them. They had this whole idea, what they want to do, and then they have to find some way to express it to you. You've got to figure out with your team, hey, can we do X, Y, Z? So what comes to mind for me is creating a AI that has all of the information. One, about what you guys do. Two, it's preloaded with pretty much everything there is to know about software development and project management for software development. And then three, a list of questions slash action items slash just things that you need to know, that you got to get from somebody, before you can give them a quote or a proposal or XYZ. And instead of having you ask all of those questions and your team reach out to them and all this stuff, why not have an AI do it, and every single response is loaded into a dashboard or a database, and then from there the AI can process that information and provide you with what it thinks would be a good proposal. So now all you're doing is looking over, instead of all you're doing is making edits instead of creating something entirely and spending all your time on that. That would be probably the number one thing I would implement for you. And then the content creation piece, yeah, AI should definitely be the go-to for that. The one problem with your personal profile, especially on Facebook, is that there's not a lot of tools out there that can post to your personal profile. There are some, and I would definitely get you set up with those and leverage those. But you still got to create the content for it. And what comes to mind to me for that is, I know you've done tons of long form content. I know that you've done speaking. I know that you've done podcasts. I would take all of that long form, convert it to short form, and put it on a drip for your personal brand, and have it kind of going back and forth with the business page and your personal page. And then just every now and then you go on there and you post something that's not scheduled. Kind of like I use myself kind of as an example. I'll have stuff that I have scheduled, and then sometimes I might be like at dinner or out with my wife or something like that, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is a good idea for a post," or "I just thought of something, this would be good," and I throw that on there, and it really gets the audience, it really gets my followers, my network to engage with me, and I've been doing it consistently. I think like 2 or 3 months now, and I think unless I post a link that goes outside of Facebook onto the post itself, all of my posts get a ton of engagement. And I know that Facebook doesn't like when you post a link that goes outside of Facebook. They'll typically not show that to very many people. That just ruins the algorithm. But for all of my posts that I don't do that, I notice that like it's getting pretty good. I've gotten a lot of engagement on everything that I talk about when it comes to this podcast, the SaaS that I'm building, the AI projects I'm working on, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, to sum it up for you, automating that client intakes process, and making it so you guys don't really have to do very much time on your end, automating the content creation, throwing that out for you, that would, I think, save you a lot of money. As far as the other side of that stuff that generates more revenue for you, um, I think you're on the right track with seamless AI and the email marketing that you do, because the type of clients that you work with, they're not on Facebook. They're not, man. You're talking to people that probably have a lot higher budget than the traditional person on Facebook that's trying to grow their. There's a lot of startups on Facebook, the ones that are actually doing it, making a couple $1 million in profit and revenue, that have gotten past that small business. They're more of a medium sized business. And the ones that have the funding that you were talking about, a lot of them really aren't on Facebook. They're on LinkedIn. Those are where you're going to find those people. And I think what you're doing with the email marketing from Seamless AI and the data that you're getting, I think that's probably the best way to go about that. You're already doing it.
Yeah, I think, man, really good ideas if we can, again, this might be different for different industries. I know my industry. I think services overall has similar problems also. So I don't know how AI development, how easy it can be to target different industries, but there's a lot of language specific stuff for industries too, requirement gathering, MVP, agile methodologies, low code development. These are all things that a home builder won't understand, or a home builder's clients won't understand typically. So I think if we can go industry specific, and somehow the AI can have, you can choose the industry. You start with one industry, then you add other options in the start, and you can choose your industry. That really helps. The stuff that you mentioned about gathering requirements, if that bot can act as my voice, and I don't know the legal requirements behind it, but if that a bot can act as my voice and I don't have to disclose that it's a bot, my clients won't even get to know, and I don't know again what the legality around this is, but sometimes when it comes to AI, and you would know this better than me, people still have that fear, right? Especially people who are further away from tech. They're like, hey, I'm talking to a machine. I want to talk to a human. And the
Mm-hmm.
machine would do better than a human, but still that thing is there. So, I think probably you can comment on that also. What's the legality behind it? Do we have to disclose it always, or how does that work?
Um, I think in the UK, yes, absolutely. Here in America, I think the only thing that they really care about, and I'm gonna have to check on this just to be sure, right? I think the only thing they really care about here in America, if you have clients here, um, is that the person that you're calling has opted in to receive communications from you, right? The whole CAN spam act. As far as disclosing, like disclosing whether or not you're an AI, um, if they've already opted in to receive communications from you and it's an onboarding type of call, I don't see any reason, right? I don't see any reason why they would need to. I haven't seen any laws like that come out. Just to, yeah, if I'm being perfectly honest, I do know that using AI to like cold call people and do lead generation is a huge no no, and you get fined up to, I think it's $1,500 per call. And there's a lot of companies that are doing that right now with AI, and the people that they're calling have not opted in, and it's like, oh man, I hope nobody reports you to the SEC because you can be in a world of hurt financially. Um, but yeah, for if somebody's already opted in and it's more of an onboarding type of thing, you can absolutely use AI for that. And I don't think
Mm.
that you have to disclose it either. And you can always, because I've programmed a couple of AI voice callers like that before for customer service and for onboarding and stuff like that. And the way that I have it set up usually, and this works for the most of the people that I work with, is if for some reason it doesn't know how to respond, it might say something like, "Hey, you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to get somebody else here on the phone with you," and it'll do it a live transfer so that it doesn't give away that it's an AI. Um,
Mm.
so it might say like, "Hey, you know what? I don't really know how to respond to that. I don't really know. I need to get my manager on the phone. Give me 1 second," and it'll do a live transfer. So that way it kind
Mm.
of keeps its cool. Doesn't give it away that it's an AI. Obviously, like at this point, it's not perfect yet, but I think where we've come in the last 6 months, I know that in the next 6 months it's going to be perfect. And
Yeah.
I'm working on quite a few projects. Well, I don't say quite a few. I'm working on a few projects right now with voice AI, and it's a pretty cool thing to do. So yeah, we could definitely do that. It could be voice based, like what you're talking about, or it could be text based. Say, hey, I'm going to start sending you some messages through here. I want you to get everything. We have to get it all in writing. So talk with me through the messenger here, and they'd never know the difference if they're
Yeah.
especially if
Yeah.
they're talking to you through messenger. Um, so yeah,
Lovely. Yeah, man, I'm really excited. Really excited for what is coming our way. Hopefully, we have some regulations to control stuff. But besides that, I'm very excited for, whatever is coming in this next couple of years for us.
yeah. Do you see yourself offering like AI within the SaaS products that you're building here soon? Have you started diving
That's
into
a very
that?
that's a very good question. I just hired my second AI engineer. We had one since like 3 months. He was working for a client's project, and I'm really interested. As a builder, I always want to build stuff. So I had some extra, honestly, budget to play around with. So I was like, okay, I'm going to hire a guy and see how he can improve some of our products, for us and for our clients. So we have some machine learning and automations already set in the products, especially in the logistic tech space that we have and MarTech space that we have. So yeah, I don't want to offer AI services right now because I don't know much about them. But yeah, we are doing stuff to improve our products and our clients' products in the future. Might as well. I do get requests from people that, hey, build me an AI product. I do this, build me something in AI. I mean, man, what to what to build? AI is such a buzzword that people want to come to it so quickly. But I always ask them, and this is my general question: why do you need what you need? You know, so if they don't have an answer, then I can't do anything for them.
Yeah,
So yeah, probably in the future, man. I think a lot of tech agencies will have to at some point. It's not
yeah.
going to be an option even. Right now, I don't really see the need for my clients to start the special services for AI.
Gotcha. And before I forget, man, I just remembered. Have you ever heard of the term an AI swarm?
No.
No. Okay. So it's basically it's a group of AI agents that all work together to accomplish a task. Right. So when you were telling me about like, okay, yeah, when I'm talking to somebody in this industry before we make a proposal, we've got to basically do some research on that industry before we can make an MVP and do all this other stuff, right? So that's kind of what made me jog my memory. It's like, oh, you know what? If you were to use an agent swarm or an AI swarm, you could basically program it so that one of them is the project manager, and you give it the one prompt, and it says, "Hey, we have a client that's in this industry. We need to conduct some research, and before we can." Provide a proposal to them. And then it'll have multiple other AIs that go out and they have subtasks that they all set up and everything. And they go and do those subtasks. They bring it back to the project manager. Project manager says, no, that's not good, or we need to organize some stuff here. And it keeps that feedback loop going until it reaches that level of satisfaction before it can present it to you for the final approval. So that's a project. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say who I'm working with for that yet, but I am working with somebody that's building AI swarms for people. So if you want, I can stay in touch with you on that, because that would be a pretty neat tool for that specific use case, especially doing research.
I mean, yeah, it sounds lovely and a little scary too for my people, but I think it's a very if we can have a swarm that takes a client and it takes them up to start phase where the development is starting, whoa, that's a lot of value add because a lot of time is being taken out. And at
Yeah.
least 2 to 3 job roles are being taken out. But in the end, there's a lot of efficiency being added. Yeah, man, I think we should keep talking on that. It's very interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's something fairly new, and there's a couple people that are doing work like that right now. It's still kind of in the beta phase, but it's I've seen a little bit of
Mhm.
what it can do, and it's pretty impressive. I'm personally programming some of the AI agents within this swarm for this gentleman, so I'll keep you updated on it for sure. Um, but yeah,
Wonder.
man, I uh I love this. This is great. And I hope that you got a little bit, a lot out of the guidance and advice that I've kind of given you on AI and automation. I'd love to work with you on some of those automation and AI projects if you're interested. The point of this podcast is not for me to sell you; it's more for me to give you kind of a strategy and a direction to go, whether you work with me or not. But I do think, like you said, if you're not integrating AI into your business sometime soon, eventually you're going to get passed by the people that are. So I hope it
Yeah.
kind of gives you a direction like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should integrate AI right there, because you're already doing it in some other parts of your business. And this would only make it a little bit more efficient. But
Yeah.
is there anything else that you would like to share with myself and the viewers of this podcast?
I think, as you said, AI is a no-brainer for everybody, including people like us who are in tech and still are a bit not skeptical, lazy slash let's see what happens slash okay, I'm doing a little bit. So I think people like you who I call like AI enablers in this world, they're very very important. I think, and not to just build AI, just to be advocates of the positive sides of AI and how actually business, for example, this discussion, right? We talked about 5 6 small things that can be done in my business, and I'm a small business owner, but for this industry, can be beneficial. So I think getting that reality touch into industries about AI is something that is very good that people like you are, doing, advocating. I also think after a certain point is going to come to specialization for AI enablers. Hey, Brandon is an AI enabler for home services. Abar is an enabler for tech. So I
Yeah.
think it's going to come down to niches as it comes in a lot of mature industries. So I really think you're doing good work, man. I know you speak a lot about AI. I think it takes a lot of effort to bring people to something new, and then actually help them do it. So yeah, kudos to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, man. How do people get a hold of you for if they want to work with you and build some stuff?
Yeah, so our website is a place. Our my personal social media I've been using very very effectively with the help of my team. A lot of people get in touch on my Facebook. In fact, the past 1 year has been crazy on Facebook. Or I can drop my email too, and that's also a good place.
Absolutely. And your website, ititans.com, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect, man. Perfect. And I know we're live right now, but as soon as I edit this podcast, I'm going to throw it into the description and everything, so people have a way to get a hold of you. So, but yeah,
Lovely.
man, thank you so much for being on here, and I'm looking forward to seeing your journey, and possibly in a few months or a year or so, we'll get you on again, and we'll talk about how you're implementing AI and everything else, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Perfect. Thank you, Brandon.
All right, bye.
Okay.